Hello and welcome to this Project in a Box video session. This is Planner 101 Part 1, and here we're going to be exploring what tasks are within a project plan. Okay, so we're here in Community Edition, which is our free document management tool supporting methodology, and this is where most people will start to come across a plan as part of their documentation for the project as they're assembling the information about what the project is going to be. They're going to be producing a plan, and this is here in the project plan section, and the file is the project schedule. So we're just going to check that out as we would do normally when we want to make a change to something. And you'll see this opens in Planner, which is a separate application. We've got this Planner window here. I can just bring that down to normal size and maximize it again. And you'll see we've got this little Gantt chart type icon up here. So Planner is opened here to enable you to see and work on the plan for this project. So a plan is supposed to give us some information about when the tasks start and end and how they're driven and who's working on them or what they might cost and all sorts of things potentially. But the core of a plan is a set of tasks that make up the project. And here we can see our tasks in what we call a Gantt chart window at the top here, a sort of graphical representation, and then underneath we can see those tasks in a data representation. And if I click into the graphical view, the Gantt chart view, you'll see it highlights the task at the bottom. If I click on a task at the bottom, it highlights it in the graphical view. Fine when we've only got 6 items here. When we've got lots more, of course, that's going to jump us around between them. So this is the default plan that we ship in new projects in Community Edition, and it's just here to show you what sort of thing you can do within Planner. So there are 3 different types of tasks we're going to talk about in this session: a normal task, a milestone, and a summary task. And all 3 of those are visible and available here within this standard templated plan. So let's start by looking at them then. So a normal task is, for example, this red one here. They can be different colors, but it's a task that indicates some work being done. It's going to start at a particular time, end at a particular time. It might have some description about what's going to be done as part of that task. There might be some people set up to work on that task, but it's an activity that we need to undertake to deliver our project, and this is representing that. So when we click on this here, we can see that it's got a name, a task, a description about what's supposed to be done. We'll come back to talking about predecessors in the next section, but we can see that it's due to start on a particular date, finish on a particular date, it's 0% complete, and it has some people set down to work on it. All sounds pretty straightforward, and that's how you might think about identifying the things that you're going to work on in your project. Let's double click into here to see how the form is though, and we can do that from either the graphical view or the data view. So this is our task form. Say this is a normal task, and you can see here task form. We've got our task name, in this case a task. Of course your task name can be anything you want it to be, so I'm going to make this something new like that. I've got a description here about what's going on in my task, what I want people to do, so I can write that in there. I can copy and paste it as well, etc. And then in type here we can see we've got a normal task, and a normal task is a task where you control the start and end date, percentage complete, and other key aspects of that task by the data in the task itself. So the task self-determines its properties. So you can see down here when we're in normal task, I can set up the type of arrangements for its start and end date. In this case, it's a single predecessor. It's starting after a preceding task and running for a certain number of days. But I could have it running fixed date, starting at a particular date and time, finishing at a particular date and time instead. So we'll leave it like that in this particular case. So these fields all down here are available for me to select and work on because it's a normal task. And as part of defining the task, one of the things we're defining is its dates, its resources, its completeness, in terms of percentage complete bar here. So that's a normal task. I'm just going to OK and close that. You see now it's updated with our new name and our new description and the start and end dates that we might have put on it. So if I wanted to change those, for example, let's come back and just double click into that again and change that to a different duration. So I'm going to make it a couple of days, finish a couple of days earlier than it did before. Now you'll see it's pulled back in to be a shorter duration than it was before, 8 days instead of 10 as it was previously. So that's a normal task. We have a particular type also of normal task, and that's what's called a milestone. And milestones are represented by these diamond type shapes here. There's 3 in this particular plan, and if I click on a milestone, you'll see it's showing as a normal task. It has a name and a description again, just like it did before, and we can set its date arrangements and its percentage complete. But the thing about a milestone is it's always 0 duration. It's an indicator that you're somewhere through your plan. Like when you pass a milestone as you're driving down the road. It was a stone indicating that you're halfway between one place and another, for example, or you've reached a particular destination. And that's the idea of this. So we might set up a milestone when something key happens or to notify people that it's happened, but it doesn't actually have necessarily any activity associated with it. It still can have resources attached to it because somebody might be responsible for it, but it doesn't normally take any time to do. It's a thing that's either happened or not happened, usually. And we set things as milestones by them having 0 duration. So you can see this one has 0 duration, and therefore it appears as a milestone. That's this one here. If I change that to have a duration, like 2 days, you see it becomes a normal type of task, like our tasks before. And in fact, I can come to one of my other tasks here, that's a normal task, and set it as a milestone, either by making it 0 days duration, or 0 duration, or using the set as milestone button, which is what that does, 0. That then becomes a milestone. So a milestone is just a normal task, but has a 0 duration, and it's indicating something about where we are within our planning environment. So both of those are normal tasks. We set the date information for them, the percentage complete, the resource allocations, etc. All of those associated directly with that particular normal task. Now the third type of task we said we'd mention is a summary task. And there are 2 of those here. There are 2 slightly different types of summary tasks that are run, but they both use the same graphical display. You'll see they are a thinner black line with a triangle at either end, and they're marking the start and end of something. Now, a summary task behaves slightly differently. So let's have a look at the summary task. And we can see straight away we've got summary, not normal, and therefore all the other information below here is greyed out. In a summary task, you do not set its start and end date, you do not set the resources allocated to it, you do not set the percentage complete allocated to it. A summary task is defined by the contents within that summary. So this is a summary task called summary, and the tasks within it that we have here, if we click into them, they are sat within that task, that summary task. So because of the nature of those tasks when they start and finish, that is determining where this summary task here itself starts and finishes and its percentage complete. So if I make this task 100 days long, it's going to push out the summary task as well. It might also move some of its other tasks within that summary group, but it's always going to push the summary group to match it. So let's do that. Let's make this task, well, it's fixed date, so I can make it move into the future like that. Let's just pick a date at random. We see that summary task has moved all the way out because it's spanning the contents within it. And that's always the case. If you put a task in a summary, it will drive the information about that summary task. Now I'm going to do something which isn't 101, but just to show you what I'm, illustrate this example, I guess, a bit better, I'm going to have two summary tasks in my project. I've copied one set of tasks by copying the summary, and now I've got another one called copy of summary. Now this copy of summary I'm going to make a different duration. So I'm going to take this task here and I'm going to make it come back a little bit like that, and now you'll see exactly how that works. We've got this summary, copy of summary, is matching the contents within it. The one above is matching the contents within it. That also comes down to other bits of data like percentage complete. So if I come down and make this task here, about 50% complete, that task is about 50% complete. The summary will be slightly less than 50% complete because there are some other activities here contributing to it as well. But it inherits its settings from the tasks within it. Now, when we come up to this very top task, task 0, this is a very special type of summary task. We can see it's a summary task by the way it looks. It's got the same thin black line with the triangles at either end, covering the span of the information. But as you can see by the indents in here, copy of summary contains these items below it. Summary contains these items below it because they're indented, they're shown as within that particular group. This is task 0, and you never set up task 0. It's automatically assembled for you by the application, and it is a rolled up summary of the entire project. So it will always show you the first date found in the project, the last date found in the project, therefore calculating the overall duration of the project, which in this case is the same as the summary below. Isn't always like that, but in this case it is. And it's got again a percentage complete. Now that percentage complete is again derived based on the content within it. So roughly speaking, this summary is half complete because half the tasks in it are complete. This one is 0 complete, and therefore the overall project plan is about a quarter complete, and it works all that out for you. So it's rolling up the information from normal tasks and milestones within a summary to that summary level, and then it's rolling up the contents of the summaries to a project level. And you can take this as far as you want in terms of the groupings of those. You can have summaries within summaries within summaries, and you can have all that nested down, and you can have different mixtures of tasks and etc., and it will roll up all that information for you. It just does it. It knows how to do all those things, but it's built from 3 simple building blocks. 2 types of normal task, a basic normal task and a milestone, and a summary task. And those are the building blocks of a plan. With that information, you can go away and start setting up your plan. You can add new tasks, which is very straightforward. Come to a location in our plan, do add item like that, and I can put my I'm going to call it further task like that, and I'm going to say it's going to, for example, start today, and it's going to run for 7 days. Now that's put that to start today, running for 7 days. It's part of that summary group. It's pushed out the overall project plan. It will have changed the overall project plan's percentage complete because now there's some more work that needs to be done. It's doing all those things for us. We put our collection of tasks together like that. Now we're going to talk in a minute about, or in the next session in fact, about dependencies, how tasks are linked together. But for the moment, we're just thinking about our tasks as items here that need to be done. It's like a need to do list, a reminder list if you like. It exists within this summary task because I added it at a location that was already there, so it assumes it's going to be in that area. But I can take my task and put it in any particular summary group I want to, or I can put it in no summary group like that. And you'll see it now is showing that we've got 1 summary, 2 summaries. This task is a task, it's part of the project plan, but it's at the root level. It's at the same level as the other summaries. It's just a task listed in the project. So it's not in any of the normal summaries, but it is included in the overall project level task 0 summary group. So there we go. That's our plan. That's thinking about tasks, absolutely essential core building blocks to a plan. That's how we work on them within Planner. I hope you found that helpful. The next session, like I say, is going to look at dependencies, how we make tasks work between each other. Okay, thank you very much.